Greetings everyone. In this video, we will tackle about regulation of body fluid in plants. The objectives in this discussion is to understand the mechanisms of water uptake and transport in plants through processes like osmosis, xylem conduction, and transpiration. To analyze the role of guard cells and stomata in regulating water loss and maintaining the plant's water balance under varying environmental conditions. To examine the physiological adaptations of plants to different environmental conditions such as drought or water abundance and their impact on osmoregulation. So now we will begin our discussion.
Regulation of body fluid. Plants regulate body fluid mainly through vascular tissues and specialized structures that manage water transport, nutrient uptake, and gas exchange. In vascular tissue, xylem transports water and dissolved minerals absorbed from the roots to the other parts of the plant. It uses mechanisms such as root pressure, capillary action, and transpiration pull. Meanwhile, in phloem, transport nutrients, especially sugars produced during photosynthesis, from leaves to the rest of the plant. Stomata and guard cells. Stomata are small openings on the leaf surface that regulate water loss and gas exchange. Meanwhile, guard cells control the opening and closing of stomata. When guard cells swells with water, the stomata open, allowing transpiration and gas exchange. During water scarcity, guard cells deflate, closing the stomata to conserve water. Roots and water absorption. Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. Root hairs increase the surface area for absorption. The absorbed water is transported upward via xylem. In transpiration, water vapor is lost from the aerial parts of the plant, primarily leaves, through stomata. This creates a negative pressure, pulling water upwards in the plant. Cuticle. A waxy cuticle layer on leaves and stems minimizes water loss by reducing evaporation. Adaptations for water regulation. Modified leaves. Thick leaves or reduced leaf surface area in some plants reduce water loss. Meanwhile, specialized roots, ventitious roots like those in orchids, help absorb water and nutrients from the air. Feedback mechanisms. Plants adapt to environmental stress like through by drought by altering their physiology. For example, during low water availability, they increase root growth or reduce leaf size to minimize water loss.
Transpiration. Transpiration is the process where water vapor is lost from the aerial parts of the plant, primarily leaves, through stomata. This creates a negative pressure, pulling water upwards in the plant. This upward pull is crucial for transporting essential nutrients and maintaining plant hydration. Here's how transpiration works. First, water is taken in through the root hairs. Root hairs increase the surface area for absorption, allowing the plant to take in more water and dissolved minerals from the soil. This water enters the root cells through osmosis, beginning its journey through the plant. Second, water moves up the stem through the xylem vessels, which conduct water and minerals to the leaves. The xylem acts like a pipeline, transporting water upward against gravity due to cohesion and adhesion. This system ensures the continuous flow of water to the leaves. Third, guard cells open, creating a pore through which water vapor can escape. The guard cells control the opening and closing of stomata by changing their shape, balancing water loss and gas exchange. When water is abundant, stomata open wider to facilitate photosynthesis, but they close under drought conditions to conserve water. Last, water vapor escapes through open stomata, mainly on the undersides of leaves. This loss of water vapor into the atmosphere drives the upward flow of water in the plant. It also cools the plant and enables the exchange of gases necessary for photosynthesis. Cuticle. A waxy cuticle layer on leaves and stems minimizes water loss by reducing evaporation. This protective barrier is especially vital in dry environments, as it helps conserve water while still allowing some transpiration to occur.
Stomata and guard cells. Stomata are small openings on the leaf surface that regulate water loss and gas exchange. Stomata, these are tiny pores or openings on the surface of leaves. Their primary function is to regulate the exchange of gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, and water vapor between the plant and its environment. This process is crucial for photosynthesis using CO2 to make sugars and respiration releasing CO2. Guard cells control the opening and closing of stomata. When guard cells swell with the water, the stomata open, allowing transpiration and gas exchange. During water scarcity, guard cells deflate, closing the stomata to conserve water. These specialized cells surround each stoma. They control the opening and closing of the stomata. When guard cells are filled with water turgid, they swell and create an opening, allowing gas exchange. When water is scarce, guard cells lose water, become placid, causing the stomata to close, preventing excessive water loss through transpiration, evaporation of water from the plant. This is a vital mechanism for plants to conserve water, especially in dry conditions. Roots and water absorption. Roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. Roots hairs increase the surface area for absorption. The absorbed water is transported upward via xylem. Plant roots absorb water and essential minerals from the soil. This absorption is facilitated by root hairs, tiny extensions of root cell that greatly increase the surface area available for absorbing water and nutrients. Xylem transport the absorbed water and minerals are then transported upward through the plant via the xylem, a specialized vascular tissue. The xylem acts like a pipeline efficiently moving water from the roots to the stems, leaves, and the other parts of the plant. This upward movement is driven by a combination of factors, including transpiration, water loss from leaves creating a pull, and root pressure pushing water upward. The diagrams and text illustrated connected the processes of gas exchange, water regulation, and water transport in plants. Stomata and guard cells work together to control water loss and gas exchange in leaves, while roots absorb water and minerals which are then transported throughout the plant via the xylem. These processes are essential for plant survival and growth.
Adaptations for water regulation. Modified leaves. Thick leaves or reduced leaf surface area in some plants reduce water loss. Specialized roots. Adventitious roots like those in orchids help absorb water and nutrients from the air. Modified leaves. Thick leaves, it looks like a thick fleshy leaf like a succulent. It acts like a water reservoir, storing moisture for when times are tough. This reduces the need for the plant to constantly absorb water from the soil. Reduced leaf surface, on the other hand, some plants have small, needle-like leaves or even no leaves at all. This minimizes the surface area exposed to the sun, reducing water loss through evaporation. Specialized roots. Adventitious roots. These are roots that grow from unusual places, like the stem or leaves. Orchids, for example, have roots that can absorb moisture directly from the air. This is especially helpful in environments where the soil is dry or short. These adaptations demonstrate how plants have evolved to thrive in challenging conditions. They are like little survival experts finding creative ways to conserve water and access nutrients. Feedback mechanisms. Plants adapt to environmental stresses like drought by altering their psychology. For example, during low water availability, they increase root growth or reduce leaf size to minimize water loss. Plants have a built-in system that helps them adapt to challenging situations like drought. When water is short, they respond by changing their growth. For example, they might grow longer roots to find more water or shrink their leaves to reduce water loss. It's like they are constantly adjusting their design to stay healthy and survive in their environment.
Regulation of body fluid summary. Vascular tissue. Xylem transports water or minerals. Phloem moves nutrients like sugars. Stomata and guard cells. Stomata manage water loss and gas exchange. Guard cells regulate stomata opening or closing. Roots and water absorption. Roots absorb water and minerals with root hairs, increasing absorption efficiency. Transpiration. Water vapor loss through stomata creates upward pull for water movement. Cuticle. Waxy cuticle reduces water loss through evaporation. Adaptations for water regulation. Thick or reduced levels and specialized roots. Example, adventitious roots conserve water. Feedback mechanisms. Plants adjust root growth, leaf size, and physiology to minimize water loss under stress. By combining structural features and physiological mechanisms, plants effectively regulate their body fluids, ensuring survival even in challenging environments. That's all. Thank you.